All right, dudes, I'm back. Apologies, my neighbor asked if they could borrow the compressor to fill up the air in their tires. So, yes, another example of EJ turning into the neighborhood mechanic, which is, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm known for that, but hey, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That won't end poorly at all. Did Rover Dude work on the game that now shall not be named? As far as I know, he did. Yep. I don't know what he's doing now. I actually haven't reached out to him in a long time. At least you're not the neighborhood IT guy. No, that's what Bree is, Kurlani. We outed ourselves, and what we reap is what we sow. Hey, Ish, what's going on, man? Ish, you doing Le Mans with us this week, or what? I have a little 12-volt compressor for the situation. Yep. We haven't watched this from Lockheed. It's worth a quick watch. Is that the one where the rover is like moving around on the surface? Yeah, it is. Yeah, we've seen that. I have a thought. I wonder if the part that has multiple colliders would collide with itself if F's same vessel collision is turned off. Yes. I actually talked to I talked to somebody, say who, somebody that worked on Kerbal 1 at one point. Can't say specifically where and when. I have a source. No, you can't make them collide with themselves. Yeah, I looked into that before I even started this Hinge project. A Juice live stream. What is this? This is the ESA's Juice mission. What is this? What are we looking at here?
Crossing of the Terminator and then the illuminated part. But for now, yeah, this is just the start.
That's fine. Mark, would you like to say something about this? Please do.
Yeah, so as Ignacio mentioned, this is an AFCAM image. The field of view is very narrow. The images that will give us a better context.
This is the Icy Moons Explorer. Yeah, the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer. It seems to be out by the moon, maybe using some type of lunar gravityssist. All right, we'll get more into that later, but Rocket Factory Augsburg, which is a European private spaceflight, a commercial spaceflight company, seems to have had a little bit of an ouchie. It's a flyby of the Earth and the Moon for the Juice mission. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, on Monday evening, Rocket Factory Augsburg conducted a hot fire test of its first stage at their launch site in Saxevord Spaceport. This resulted in an anomaly that led to the loss of the stage. No one was injured in the process. Launchpad has been saved and is secured. The situation is under control and any immediate danger has been mitigated. We are now working closely with Saxevord Spaceport and the authorities to gather data and info to eventually resolve what happened. We will take our time to analyze and assess the situation. We develop iteratively with an emphasis on real testing. This is part of our philosophy, and we are aware of the high risks attached to this approach. Our goal is to return to regular operations as soon as possible.
And the rocket engine test.
Oh. Yeah. Turbine failure. 90% sure. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's not what you want. That looks like turbo pump failure. See those sparks? The sparks. Picture like an angle grinder. Like you have a cutoff wheel, cutting metal, makes a lot of sparks. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of sparks. It looks like one of their power packs decided to power pack int. Yeah, that's Rocket Factory Augsburg's first stage. It decided to pop. Yeah, I can say pretty reasonably that that's turbine. That's turbo pump failure. Pretty dang sure. Yeah, in this case, you know, like I said, it's like a cutoff wheel cutting through metal. It shoots a lot of sparks. You've seen me do that when we mess with things on the automotive streams, right? Yeah, that's in that case, that's your turbine or fluid impeller turning into a cutoff wheel and cutting itself out of your rocket engine. Pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, this could be, I'm pretty sure. Now, once again, I'm taking a guess. What do I know? There's not much you can tell from this footage, but the sparks are very telling. So how do you lose a turbo pump like that? Improper operating temperature is the biggest one. If you spin a bearing in a turbo pump, yes, you can do that. If you spin a bearing, that's game over. Where was that? Saxaboard. Yeah, spinning a bearing is death for a rocket engine. And that may have been the cause there. There's a bunch of different things it could be, guys. Bad bearing, lack of oil. Well, a lot of rocket engines use the propellant for lubricant, Tessa, especially if you're using kerosene. Like if you're using RP1, that does prove to be a little bit more difficult when you're using hydrogen, right? You might want to opt for a different bearing design. Hydrogen doesn't lubricate very well. It's not very viscous, right? But kerosene is, right? Hey, Neonix. This isn't exactly space related, but I reckon you'll enjoy it. Neonix, I haven't seen you in forever. What's going on? Oh, the Chinook. Yeah. I've seen that. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty dang sure that that's turbine failure. Yeah, you don't get the sparks flying like that. This is happening because something is spinning. The only things that really spin a lot is the only things that really spin a lot on rocket engines is the pumps, and that sucks. So RFA seems to have lost their stage, which sucks. And the worst thing about that is that it can be a cascading failure. If one fails, right, and starts delaminating itself and becoming turbo pumpant, right, it'll shoot parts into other rocket engines, and then those ones will do the same thing, and then you just get a catastrophic failure, a cascading catastrophic failure. So once again, RFA says the pad is okay, but they did lose the stage, which basically, like I said, if I had to guess, that's turbine failure. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Got a nice big explosion though. But RFA is doing iterative design. They're doing rapid prototyping similar to SpaceX, so failures do happen. It's part of the game. If you choose to play the game by that rule set. Yeah. Sucks. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Now, see, here's the thing. The camera seems to cut from there to there. This initial bit of footage here. Okay, so you're getting ignition here, but you're getting ignition out the side. Flamian should be pointing that way, but it's not. It's pointing that way. RFA have that KSP. Yeah, they do have the KSP parts pack, don't they? See, I'd be genuinely curious as to what happens from here. So, obviously, fuel. You're getting a lot of fuel there. And it definitely... So, we got a fuel-rich mixture here. See the black? fuel rich. I mean, they do use kerosene, so yeah, that could be a bunch of different things. But I know that that's turbine failure, so something could have popped and made the turbines fail. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, see all the sparks? That's Rocket Factory Augsburg. They had a failure on their test stand today. Yeah, I didn't really notice that the camera cut a little bit earlier, but it does. It does cut, and just kind of gonna try to see here. Not good.
Discovery,
Cut my
North, throttle up.
vans. What's up? Is this Falcon 9 size? No. The Juice mission is live. Yeah, I know. Hard start would be your guess. I mean, clearly they had it was in a mode where the turbo pumps are spinning, Hell Hydra, right? Like this part is definitely turbine failure. I know that. I'm not sure what happened here. Yeah, the hard start. I mean, I'm wondering what's all this smoke here? What's all this? Is this could have been during shutdown? Could have been during shutdown. So maybe it hydraulic hammered. You know what, dude? Hold up. Hold on a second. Okay. The last time we looked at Rocket Factory Augsburg testing their stages, I noticed something on stage shutdown, and I didn't think... I mentioned it on stream, but I didn't really pay it much mind. Look, this is... So that's the stand right there, right? So, wait, hold on. Let me see this again. I'm gonna listen to this. Hold on.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Engine 1 ignited, good RPM. Engine 2 ignited, good RPM. Engine 3 ignited, good RPM. Engine 4 ignited, a bit high on the RPM, but looks good.
During their testing, they're staging their ignition big time. They're firing one and then waiting a couple seconds, firing another, waiting a couple seconds, firing another, waiting a couple seconds. I'm wondering if this is the test here. That's what I noticed last time. There was residual. Watch. But here's the thing. That doesn't seem like... I don't think they even got that far. If you compare what's going on here, right, from this footage right here, there's a huge cloud. So, right, when is there a huge cloud in this footage?
Engine 1 ignited, good RPM.
Right there seems to be about the same cloud. So, yeah. Hell Hydra, I think you're right. Hard start. If I had to guess, hard start on the number 2 engine. See, right when they ignited the number 2 engine, which is right there, the clouds match perfectly. See? Yeah, you sprung a leak. Oofda. That's, yeah. Guys, I don't think that's going to buff out. I don't think that's going to buff out. You know, I'm pretty sure you can't buff that out. I'm pretty sure you can't buff out, but yeah, God, the cloud here is right at the beginning. So this, yeah, hard start. Hard start. Yeah. I mean, if you, like I said, look at the cloud position during this successful test flight footage here, right? Or test fire footage, right? That is from the flame bucket, the pad deluge turning on, right?
Engine 1 ignited. Good RPM.
Mr. Sam could buff that out. Absolutely, Brad. You could buff that out with a shine mix. Hell yeah, brother. If I had to guess, guys, once again, big guess, not a rocket scientist, armchair engineer, I play Kerbal, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill, not an engineer. You get what I'm talking about. It looks like a hard start from engine 2. Because, once again, if it was later in the ignition, or, I mean, I thought it might have been at the very end where they burped up a bunch of stuff, that deluge cloud is not there. This is from all the water that they're spraying in this flame bucket right here to keep it cool.
Engine 2 ignited. Good RPM.
See, eventually that steam gets completely saturated, right? Or the water gets completely saturated and turns into steam. That's what this is, right? Yeah. 2. Why the frick would they do that? So, fellas, I noticed something here, and I'm not 100% sure why you would do this. Okay, so they fire one engine. You can see it looks like there's 5, I think. Can't really tell. I honestly forget. There was a time where I knew this at some point, right? You see, 1 is on because of the way it is, and then they fire 2, right? And then there looks like there's 3, 4, and 5 right there. Well, okay, I have a question. I'd have to ask Rocket Guy about this. The pumps are on. They're on the other 3 engines. The igniter has not sparked yet, though. But those are look. They're shooting out atomized mixture. Why would someone do that? Why would you do that? You're asking for a hard start that way. You're spraying unburnt propellants out of one engine, and if the flames find their way back up, because you're making a vacuum, you're making low pressure. If the flames find their way back up, you're going to backfire the rocket engine. Why would you do that way? Probably to avoid transients. The initial test was 4 out of 5. The completed vehicle uses 9 Helix engines. What? Why? Okay. Am I missing something? Why would you do learning curve? Quite possible, makers. You see these engines, the pumps are on. You're flooding the engine. Those engines are flooded. See all the atomized mixture coming out? I must be looking at this wrong. There's no way that's what they're doing. It must be wrong. You have 2 engines at full blast right there, and 3 of them with their pumps. The turbine machinery is going, but there's no ignition. Why? It's only LOX. Would there be a problem? It's not LOX. There's fuel. It's atomized fuel. Fumble. They're shooting out atomized mixture because look, they popped the engine right on. It has to be an atomized mixture because they started, right? Could it only be LOX for thermal conditioning? I suppose it's possible.
Engine 2 ignited. Good RPM.
But even if this is only LOX and you went to ignite another engine, for a momentary second you're flooding the engine before ignition with fuel. You're not going to try to start it before you don't deliver you're not going to try to start your engine if fuel isn't at the injector plate. If you do that in the improper mixture, well, give me 1 second. I'll show you. I gotta find the video now. Here. So, you guys ever seen like science? You ever been to science class where you know, like a science professor electrolyzes water, right? And it creates hydrogen gas, and there's hydrogen gas sitting in a bottle, and then they throw the match in there, and it, like the flames go all the way down, and then it goes, you know, like it shoots out like kind of like a rocket engine. You guys remember that? Remember that from high school or secondary school? We remember that? Remember that part? So that happens with rocket engines in a hard start scenario. Here, watch. Watch. See, this one right here, this methane, prototype methane engine, right, is doing exactly what I'm talking about. It's shooting out an atomized mixture, so that's mixed fuel and oxidizer. And if you notice, there's a source of ignition over here. You see the flame? You see the flamey bits? You see the flamey bits over there? Now watch what happens. Watch. It's just like the damn bottle. Uh-oh. Boom! Detonation. And you blew the injector plate off of the combustion chamber. Detonation waves from atomized propellant meeting the ignition. Yeah. See that? That's what the bass is pumping right now, though. So that's why that's part of the reason why I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Because you're running the risk of doing that. Which I'll be honest, guys, that kind of is what looks like what happened, but I don't know for sure. It's not ideal. There's actually a better angle of this from the same dude. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is from the opposite side. So watch. So you have your injector plate right here, your combustion chamber, your throat, and then there's no nozzle on this test. So when rocket engines start, you basically get your turbo pumps up to snuff, right? You get them spinning fast enough. That's used from a couple of different ways. You could be using your fuel to do it. You could be using triethyl aluminum or triethyl borane to do it. That's what that green flash is when SpaceX starts their engines. It could be a pressure fed. It could be a pneumatic based system, right? Like you could basically, if you guys ever screwed around in design and tech and shop class and took a computer fan and some compressed air and that, they could do it that way. That's how the shuttle engines turn on. That's how some Raptors turn on. Right? So basically you got to get your fuel delivery systems working correctly and up to pressure and delivering fuel and oxidizer to your injector plate in the right proportions before you start ignition. If you don't do that in the right sequence, it blows up. It'll blow up. You'll detonate something and bad stuff happens. Once you get past this point, now this is every time a rocket engine starts, mind you. Once you get past this point, and you got good flow, you'll activate the ignition, and then first time you do it, you kind of hope and pray that it shoots out the back. You don't hope and pray. That's where the math gets involved, right? And a little bit of physics too, right? But if you sit there with the engine in pre-start, I guess is what you'd call it, right? You're shooting out atomized mixture here. Now, what's atomized mixture? So if you take liquid fuel and oxidizer and you spray them into each other at low pressure, low-ish pressure, right? They'll kind of cross paths, and I'm not a chemist, but the nice way to say that is they kind of stick to each other. Think about like not exactly this. Once again, chemists, you're going to cringe at this. I know if there's chemists out there. I'm sorry. They kind of stick together like water droplets. Like water has surface tension, and they kind of stick. They stick together. They become atomized, right? You have to do this in the right conditions. Okay, this is the other reason why igniting one of these things is such a pain in the butt. Just do it in the right conditions. You have to get good atomization. You're not getting good atomization. Basically, you could basically flood your rocket engine, and your propellants will snuff out the flame. You can use fuel to fight fire in the right circumstances. Another better, kind of more practical application of what I'm talking about is that gasoline itself is not flammable. It only becomes very flammable if the fumes from the gasoline atomize with the oxygen in our atmosphere. You ever fill up a car with gas? The little waviness that comes out of the pump when you're filling up your car? That's super flammable. That's the part that lights on fire. That's what your car does. It makes vapor, right? Your car does that. It makes vapor. It atomizes, it sprays the fuel from high to low pressure, so it spreads out, it atomizes with the oxygen from the intake, and then boom, you get a nice explosion, right? That is atomized liquid methane and liquid oxygen. That's way more explosive than gasoline. Like, way more explosive. Methane has a lot more hydrogen in it, and we know from the Hindenburg, not only from the Hindenburg, like, hydrogen gas likes to blow up. It likes to blow up very efficiently, and it likes to blow up, period. Right? Watch. So this engine is in pre-start, right? The turbo pumps are on. Your whatever your feed system is, it's on. You're shooting atomized propellants out of the rocket engine, right? If those things find something that's hot, it doesn't even need a spark or a piece of electricity. This is so hot, you heat it, or this is so flammable, you introduce it to even a minor temperature increase, it will explode. It'll auto combust like a diesel engine. And that's, like I said, that's what happens here. And look at how quickly it happens. I mean, this is I think this is 24,000 frames a second. Everything looks okay here. Everything looks all right here. You're getting a little, yeah, okay, there's, see, a little bit of auto combustion. That happens. This does happen. But in the right conditions, you should probably start that rocket engine like right now. If the igniter hasn't turned on before that happens, this happens. Your pumps are still going at this point, and they're still delivering fuel to the injector plate, but you're delivering it to an injector plate that has the combustion chamber separated from it. So, you know, that's good. Yeah, it blew the rocket engine in half. This is part of the reason why Tim Dodd says Flamian down. That if the flame's coming out of the sides, something like this happened. This is not good, right? See, it blew the rocket engine in half. You know how strong of a detonation that needs to be to do something like that? It blew the combustion chamber completely off the injector plate. And it happens in a split second. This probably looked like, you know, this is on the high-speed camera. What this looked like in real time would probably be about the equivalent visual of throwing a hand grenade inside of this. Take the hand grenade, throw the pin up the throat, and run. And that's it, that quick. Yeah, see what I mean about hard starting? This is why I'm very confused here. And once again, I don't know more than RFA. I have no freaking clue. I need to ask Rocket Guy or somebody that really knows their stuff with propulsion, right? I really want to know. So they start one engine, right? One engine turns on, and then you hear, listen.
Engine 1 ignited,
Engine 1.
Engine 2 ignited, 2 RPM.
They waited. They staged their ignition. Now, don't get me wrong. Staging ignition for rockets is something that does happen. You never try to light all of them at the same time. That can that can lead to explosions. You stagger them. The reason why is because you could create a siphon effect and implode your plumbing going to the rocket engines. That could have happened here. I don't know. But that only happens if you try to fire all your rocket engines all at once. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, it's not like they're staggering it every second on like Falcon 9, for instance. You stagger it by like a millisecond or 100 milliseconds or something. It's fast enough that you can't even tell. If you're looking at it with just a Mark 1 eyeball, you wouldn't even be able to notice. You notice it on high speed footage, though. They stagger the ignition. The other thing is that can create you can create a compounding vibration, and that'll just shake the rocket to pieces. If you try to fire all of them at the same time, you're getting 3 overlapping overpressures. Yeah, you don't want that. They can compound and creates crazy resonance, and the rocket could just shake itself to pieces. Yeah, not cool. So these guys are staggering like a couple of seconds between their rocket ignitions. And now, don't get me wrong, it obviously has worked in the past, but look. Now, once again, I ain't no rocket scientist. I don't know. But it certainly looks like those engines are doing that. Not this part. They're doing... Give me a second. They're doing that. It certainly looks like it. It certainly looks like they're shooting out an atomized propellant. Not exploded, though. See? Look at the engines. Those are definitely pulling. That's definitely atomized propellant. I'm like, once again, well, I don't know. I don't know for sure. Who knows? But that definitely looks kind of similar to what's going on here. And if it looks similar to what's going on there, this makes a lot more sense. It's RP1 LOX, so it might just be the LOX. Why would you have your LOX turbo pump on, but not your RP1? Also, Deadbringer, these... Yeah, I suppose if the valves are past your turbo pumps, sure. It's possible. LOX main valve is open to condition your hardware. Yeah, but that would still create a momentary split second where you have a little bit of atomized propellant before ignition. Yeah, you're right. The valves are past the turbine machinery. That's right. Usually LOX goes out of like a dump on the side or something. They could be dumping it through the combustion chamber for simplicity's sake. You probably could. That means your main LOX valve is open and your impeller is on. But here's the thing. RFA's power packs are a single shaft. So you have a gas generator, LOX, RP1 on top of it, and they're all connected on one drive shaft, right? Now, once again, I don't know. No idea. But honestly, I've never heard a scenario of where you would have one open and the other for a long period of time. Because if you had one shaft, right, and you're moving the liquid oxygen around with your turbine machinery, right, which clearly, I mean, like I said, that's a lot of LOX shooting out the bottom for not, doing that, right? You'd cavitate your RP1 pump, which is interesting. Hey, Pi, what's going on? Pi, what do you make of this? Check this out. RFA, Rocket Factory Augsburg, was testing this afternoon, and Helix is an oxygen-rich stage combustion. That motor is oxygen-rich? Well, there you go. That explains your oxygen open then. So, that means there's... Deadbringer, there you go. We talked ourselves through it. I was getting really confused there for a second. There's no bypass. It's oxygen rich. Is it Carolox oxygen rich stage combustion? If it's Carolox oxygen rich stage combustion, yeah, that mixture coming out is mostly oxidizer, but there still is some fuel in it. Okay. In which case, well, Deadbringer, that we talked ourselves through that. That goes back to my first question. You're priming these motors and you're spraying out atomized propellant, albeit in very, very, very weird proportions that should not generate combustion, right? But they still are. Oh dear. Well, the flame is supposed to go down. Someone messed up and thought left was down. Yeah, it's probably Y up, Z up orientation, Pi Guy, if I had to guess. You know, somebody messed up the orientation. Rocket Guy, a couple things. Hard to really tell with that grainy video, but if it's RP1 plus locks, it could be that the locks, as it looks, could just be locks as it looks like they use T-tab with a green flash. Typically, startup sequence runs locks for pyrophoric ignition with T-tab and then RP1 trails. So I doubt a bit that the RP1 is running. I'm also not sure if that flow would be from two turbines running, possibly headers. You can see, like in that hard start, for example, what full throttle propellant delivery would look like. Yeah. Interesting, dude. Interesting. Because Rocket Guy, something. So, look, if you're looking at this footage here, dude, you're getting sparks flying everywhere. Am I confident in saying that that's probably turbine failure? However, I mean, yeah, sparks don't fly like that unless you have a serious electrical fire, which could be the case, or your turbines have decided to turbine int. But this right here seems to show point of failure right there. But then again, you do have fire coming right there. So they could have had fire coming from an umbilical and pff. Sparks could be from a LOX fire. Shooting out the side is what I would first think is turbine failure, maybe due to FOD or something. Well, I'm pretty sure whatever did that is what caused that. I'm just putting it out there, dude. Pretty sure whatever did that is most likely what caused that, right? Like, am I in the ballpark here? This is Rocket Factory Augsburg. They're a German company, German commercial spaceflight company, Bandit, that's going to launch in Saxevord. Because that is not just a hard start. That is sustained, like jet flowing out of a header. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Rocket Guy, my hypothesis before I said I would need to ask you or somebody that knows more about this than me is that from their own test footage, it very much looks like they're... I mean, this could be just from head, but even if this is from residual tank head pressure right there before they ignite the engine, like with hypergalls, I mean, because the staging sequence is so far apart, you could open up a window even during ignition before your kerosene hits your injector plate. You're opening up a hard start right there if you auto combust some of this coming out of there, right? Like, hey, Berdongenen, what's up, man? Mr. Weldon. I mean, I don't know if what they were doing is that, but it definitely looks like this. That definitely looks a lot like what we saw in this prior testing footage. That looks like the same testing article, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, something like that, Shy. If it's just locks, no. And if it's only from conditioning or the... If it is only from conditioning or the igniter for ignition. This footage here is... This testing footage is from a prior test. This is... They went to test this afternoon, and that happened. Aluminum and magnesium look like that. Yeah. Yeah, they are very sparky, but I don't think there's any magnesium in this, do you? I mean, it's possible. I don't know. There's definitely aluminum, we know that. And we know aluminum makes great solid fuel propellant stabilizer. The problem is, with your liquid fuel rocket, I'm pretty sure you don't want it to solid rocket fuel. Like that. It looks like a pipe burst past the turbo pump. Yeah, Pi, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, what would cause that? You know, what would cause that? You're obviously going through a shock load transient, right? Which is why I think it's from, I think they venturied one of their rocket engines and it backfired like a carburetor, but I could be wrong. How about a quick disconnect failure? Well, if their QD screwed up, the rocket guy's theory is about head pressure feeding the engines. Yeah, that could be a problem. But we clearly have atomization there. Not rocket guy. Pi. There's clearly I'm getting my guys confused. Rocket guy and Pi guy. Pi. You're getting heat air. You're getting heat oxidizer and fuel here. So you're getting atomization, and yeah, you're obviously fuel rich because of the black cloud of smoke. Are there better images of the engines from RFA's own testing footage? Sure. Yeah. See, single shaft. So you have your gas generator. Your gas generator's down here, and then there's your two pumps in line. One of them is a radial feed, the other one's an axial feed. If I'm looking at that right. Actually, hold on. What is this flex pipe over here? Hang on. I need to read about RFA's motors. Give me 1 second. Let's read here for a second. Helix. Yeah, they're staged. So yeah, you could go turbine centric, which is what I think I'm looking at here. So yeah, because it's stage combustion, it wouldn't be in line like how I'm saying. It would be turbine in the center. I think. I'd have to look at their engines again. It's actually a pretty good little motor. Stage combustion cycle at 900 kilonewtons, 325 seconds with RP1 and LOX. Not bad, dude. Except for that. This is definitely a little bit of a setback. Longer clip here. Oh. My money's back on turbine failure. My money's back on turbine failure. You guys, so Rocket Pi, you guys see the sparks? Watch. Boom! I think a turbo pump failed. Pretty sparkled. When your rocket engine looks like a firework, you got a big problem. Am I looking at that right? I'll leave it on this frame. That's bad. That I mean, it's pretty, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that that's probably not good, but see, this footage kind of confirms what I was thinking. It was right at point of ignition. So this indicates hard start. Let us hear it too. Oh, I don't know if the BBC just put their stupid jingle over it. Who knows? Oh, that's bad. Oh. Oh, that. It's just... Wait. Oh, shit! Oh! That's broken. Wow, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's a cascading rud, guys. That's what that is. That's a cascading rud. It gets worse and worse. The more you look at it, it's just worse and worse. It's like the video of that guy stacking toilets, and then he knocks one over, and then he just dominoes all the other toilets. The guy's just like, I hate my life. I'm leaving now. Bye. Oh. It's trying to vent. It's trying to vent down, but it's not working. Sound like COPV's popping, and then oh, there goes your main fuel tank. You hear the two pops? Fuel and oxidizer. There you go. Now, oh. The deluge is still working. Seriously, though, the deluge is probably what saved the test stand. That's the only reason that test stand is still good is because the deluge system put the flames out. Holy crap. Whoa. Dude. That's yucky. That's yucky. That's yucky. That's not good. Yeah, that's bad. That's not good. That's bad. The moment the metal ignited itself turned itself into thermite, there's no stopping. I call the firefighters, but not for me. Yeah. Shaxavort is in Shetland, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's... Fire NATOs are pretty, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, the rocket engine is basically fire NATOing out the bottom, Gek. But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Can I want to listen this time. Hold on, I'm going to shut up. So stressful, dude. Oh, that's... That's not even my rocket. That's still hard to watch. It's still hard to watch. Like, just it's just hard to watch. It so team it guys I'm it here, hold on. It looks like, okay, so they got ignition. You see the overpressure event that's happening right there. Right after initial ignition, you get a failure. Once again, sparks shooting out everywhere up the side of the rocket. That, once again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again, that looks like turbine failure. Turbine failure caused from a hard start. That's what it looks like, right? See the sparks flying out all over the place? It looks like they hard started the engine, and the engine decided to just disassemble itself really fast. So it looks like some of that debris severs a line, or at least damages a line, and that line depressurizes. It looks like an engine close to the umbilical may have done that, and it sliced, or at least damaged part of the line, and that near the umbilical, and that's what causes the flames to come out the side. Once again, guys, you're still seeing sparks shooting out the bottom right there. See that? And then they stop. That's the turbine, or what's left of it, spinning down, like stopping. See? Watch, and then those sparks will stop. Or they won't. I mean, they cut the camera, but that's turbine failure all day. My money's on that. Hard start turbine failure, but I don't know what caused the hard start. That's what I was trying to figure out before. Yeah, your power pack decided to throw a rod there. Yeah, I'd have to understand what they were testing, and they're not going to say that. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Like I said, we'd have to figure out what they were testing and go from there, because that thing broke badly. Could the LOX downcomer have broken and then overpressured the RP1 tank? Yeah, I mean, guys, it's extremely difficult to say what hard started it. That's why I thought it would have, if it was the second, like, with the footage that we saw before, I didn't know what phase of ignition they're in. The first engine to start is the one that popped. So we can rule out my whole theory about basically backfiring a rocket engine, the other rocket engines, because you're flowing propellants, right? We can discard what I said before. With this longer footage here, I go back to what I originally said. So the engine ignites, and then immediately after ignition, I mean, you see the green, so triethyl aluminum triethyl borane, right? So it's T-tab from this, I think it's pyrophoric. Here, let me check. Here, let's go RFA Helix engine. Where's that thing that I... Ooh, we got some telemetry. Keep in mind, this is a test from 2022. Helix engine shots. Oh, thank you. I have them open. Thank you. Turbine inlet pressure, main chamber. They're pushing 100 bar main chamber pressure off oxygen-rich stage combustion with kerosene. That's pretty good. It's kerosene, Tessa. You don't need a lot of pressure to get an extremely violent explosion. It's kerosene. Oil ignites real good. I mean, if it was higher, you'd get an even more energetic explosion where you're squeezing all of it out. But once again, you gotta also take into account that we're oxygen rich here. You gotta really make sure you don't delaminate your combustion chamber. Oxygen rich stage combustion, you really have some heat problems. It's tough to control the heat. Yeah, thanks, Martin. I'm wondering what this is. See this little funny right here? That little zip-zop, zoopity-bop. See this? I'm wondering what that is. I don't know if that's normal. I really haven't looked at enough start telemetry to know if that's normal or not. Yep, see your pumps are spinning up, right? And then oxidizer pump outlet. Yeah, it spins up correlative to your shaft speed here, and then moment of ignition is basically right there. See, this is what I mean. This is why it's easy to hard start. Look at the number change in a split second. See what I mean? Look at that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Team DX? Yeah. Crazy, dude. Now, once again, this is not telemetry from that exact test, but I would assume that the startup sequence would be something similar to this. I'm just looking at it here. I can't believe it. It's crazy. It's possible. Once again, it seems like a hard start, guys, from that footage. It's just this seems like it's a hard start, and that hard start caused your turbines to not turbine. Oh. This also could be a depress vent that turns on in the event of a failure. The problem is your fire is right next to your depress vent. 285 bar on locks, though. That's pretty high. Have to have higher pressures the further upstream you go. Lower pressures the more downstream you go, Tessa, or else your rocket engine doesn't rocket engine very well. Now, with that being said, dude, if you know that your inlet pressures need to be higher than your combustion chamber pressure, consider Raptor 3 again in your mind and go, what the actual frick is happening here? Crazy, right? Oh, yeah. That is a triumph of material science. That's not. That's not. That's the opposite of that. You have a better link for the Helix engine. Yeah, see, they are dumping. Okay, they do have a dump. So that's fuel. That one's fuel, no doubt. This thing. Actually, hold on. No, it wouldn't be insulated. Here, let me just look. I gotta learn. This is EJ's time to learn, not guess. I already did my guessing for the day. Bypass valve kerosene. This is Senkrick starter. He's a German stem guy. He's like a German counterpart of mine. I don't know him, but I know of him. Yeah, that's locked because it's insulated. Yep. How many Merlins did SpaceX pop? No idea. I need to see what 10 and 11 are. Kerosene pipe to pre-burner. 11 is the kerosene pump. Yeah, but on maybe. Yeah. Something with this, I guarantee you that's hard start that caused an explosion somewhere in this area right here. I think that's about as conclusive as we can get without having a propulsion engineering degree. Freaking magic, dude. These things are freaking magic. Yeah, something happened right in this area here. Because, once again, those sparks come from your turbine deciding to not be a turbine anymore and deciding to be a chainsaw. Quick tangent. The Paris Olympics should have been called Wii Sports. Right. What rocket engine is that for? That's for this rocket. That's a Helix engine, Rocket Factory Augsburg. It was for this rocket. I say was because that happened. Yeah, and then that happened. And then after that, that happened. No, this was not their first, believe it or not, which leads me to believe they've successfully tested that exact test article in the past, which leads me to believe that they were trying something a little bit different, and that's, yep, there it is, falling on the ground and exploding. Oofda. Huge oof. Was the test stand destroyed? Actually, no, it was not, because their sound suppressor was still on at the end. So the sound suppressor spraying the thing down with water constantly, I believe, saved most of this thing. Oofda. Yeah, hard start. I think we can conclusively say hard start. The hard start induced turbine Rud, and that basically is like a shrapnel grenade going off in the engine section, and there you go. That's great. I actually saved the pod, mostly. That you did. That boy's good, no doubts there, huh? Yeah, that was this thing. Here's a picture of it in better times. Yeah, one of these things, see, there's no separation between all these engines. If one of those things decides to delaminate, you bad. Bad. Not good for it. Well, RFA said they'll figure it out and they'll go from there. I'm sure they'll do a fault tree analysis. And believe it or not, guys, RFA is actually pretty straightforward about their stuff in the past. Like they've been, look, I mean, they showed us telemetry from previous tests. I'm sure they'll tell us what's going on. I just joined in. What did the foil on the engines do? Insulation void. Yeah, that's on. So those engines are using kerosene, so RP1, and liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen is really cold. What comes out of the rocket engine is not. Got to insulate it a little bit. You don't need convected heat heating up your liquid oxygen before it goes into your engine, right? Because then you have your liquid fuel engine, and now you're feeding gaseous oxygen into your liquid fuel engine. I don't think I need to say why that's not good. Your liquid fuel engine, if it's getting anything but liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer, it blows up. It'll go right to your thighs, and then you'll blow up. Yeah, if you look at that, you can see that the TVC and the flex joints are in the middle of all that. The rocket is kaput. This rocket is no more. It has ceased to be. Danke schön. Auf Wiedersehen. Give me 1 second, dudes.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
All right, cool. We good. We're real good. Anyways, all the facts. 34-month resub. So yeah, that's not good. Sorry, that became a tangent, but that's okay.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, pray for Mary. I do all the time. We'll have to wait for RFA to hear anything. So the other thing that's going on here is the European Space Agency's Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer is doing a grav assist off of Earth and the Moon, and there was a live stream going on for its flyby, and it gave us some pretty cool live shots of the Moon. Well, actually, it's not a live shot. It just they look like pictures being downloaded. That's a dish. That's the dish, which is pretty cool. The Moon. Yeah, you can see that it's flyby past the Moon, and it's going to grav assist Earth here. And they're basically using Earth as a grav assist to get to Jupiter. Once again, this is the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, or JUICE for short. In this case, it's not loose. The JUICE is not loose. It's going to Jupiter. Controllably. I had to make the joke. I'm sorry. I had to make the joke. Yeah. Am I a piece of crap for doing it? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I had to. Sorry. Could not. It's not my department. The JUICE is already dead. Well, it's not, because it's flying around in space. Just saying. Put that water bottle there. Wouldn't it be very loose in 0G? I mean... Yes? I don't know, man. I got a headache. I got a headache, Corbin. Corbin, I got a headache. I got a headache, man. Corbin, my man. I got fire. I got no matches. I got no matches. I got no matches. I mean, the matches. I got meaning. I didn't know. I mean, Father, you smoke. Father, you smoke. We all gonna die. Okay, I have a little bit more news here. So, yeah, this was this afternoon. Here, let's go to the Polaris program. So at the beginning of the stream, there was a press conference with Jared Isaacman, Kid Poteet, Anna Menon, and Sarah Gillis. They are the 4 crew for the Polaris Dawn mission, which is launching in a week from now, so next Monday, right? there was a press conference that entailed what they're doing with their mission. The reason why this press conference was announced is because they've arrived at KSC to launch on a Dragon capsule for quarantine. There's the 4 crew right there. And yeah, they arrived in the Polaris jets, which is just basically like a private jet aerobatic team, which is pretty cool. So they gave us some details about this mission. It is awesome. So the Polaris Dawn mission that's going to launch next week is going to be the first commercial mission that's going to do an extravehicular activity, basically getting out of the spacecraft when it's on orbit. It also is going to be the highest distance off the surface of Earth that humans have been since December of 1972. Since the Apollo program. The Polaris Dawn mission will launch. It'll go into a 51.6 degree inclined orbit, which is kind of similar to the ISS inclination. It's actually is the ISS inclination. And they are going to insert into a 1,400 kilometer by 190 kilometer orbit. That's an eccentric orbit. So what does that mean in plain English? If you look at the orbit from the side, it's elliptical. It's an oval, right? It's not a perfect circle. If it's a perfect circle, it would be zero inclination. Or not inclination, zero eccentricity, excuse me. So this eccentric orbit with the apogee, or the highest point in the orbit, is the highest that people have been ever since since the Apollo program. Yeah, with the shuttle missions, we never really got above 500 kilometers. This is going to 1,400. 3 times the height of the ISS. Actually, more than 3 times the height of the ISS. View's going to be sweet. After that, they'll do a little bit of slowdown burn, and they will move their apogee down to a 700 by 190 kilometer orbit and conduct the first EVA. They will depressurize the spacecraft, and they will exit Dragon when it's on orbit. 2 crew will stay in the craft, 2 crew will go out. This will be the first EVA ever done by a commercial endeavor. Ever. And that's going to be live streamed. They said they're going to live stream the EVA, which is mint. So, on top of the science and biomedical research that they're going to do with this, they're also going to do an artificial gravity experiment where they're EVAing, they flip the capsule end over end and try to induce not artificial gravity, but an artificial acceleration to simulate 1G. All right. There's going to be that kind of research being done. And they're also going to, here's the really crazy part. The Polaris Dawn Dragon will be carrying a payload in its trunk. One of the first times a Dragon with crew on it is ever carrying a payload in its trunk. The trunk is the back part of the Dragon capsule that does get disposed of. Somewhat analogous to a service module, but it's not the service module. A service module is like all your propulsion systems. The Dragon is just power and thermal. But there is an empty space back there to carry cargo. The uncrewed versions of Dragon do carry cargo back there. This is the first crew mission to do it. Right? At least to my knowledge. I mean, I don't know. There's probably people that know more about this than me. So what they're carrying back there is basically a hot-rodded Starlink satellite in the back of Dragon. No, they're not going to deploy it, or at least the optical component of a Starlink satellite. What they're doing with that optical component is when they're in that 700 by 190 orbit, they're going to point the back of Dragon down towards the horizon of Earth and use optical communication to communicate with Starlink. There is a Starlink antenna it's bolted technically. A Starlink antenna bolted to the inside of the crew cabin. So this is going to be the first Dragon capsule, the first human-rated space flight to have a Starlink on board, which is fiber optic without the fiber. Bingo. Which is pretty awesome. That's really, really cool. Optical communications are what you're going to need if you want to go to the moon or go to Mars or wherever. Are we talking about sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their head? Dragons with lasers strapped to its What? Junk in the trunk? That... I'll stop. Can we just delete this conversation? Anyway, yeah, the Polaris Dawn mission. They're going to be up there for 5 to 6 days doing all this, and yeah, they're going to depress the capsule and then repressurize it, which is crazy. And if it works, they could end up putting the Starlink on ISS. It's possible, sure. This will also be, yeah, it's the first time humans have been up to 1,400 kilometers since the Apollo program. That would have technically been the last time. And the first time, the highest altitude that any woman has ever gotten to. The highest would be the Hubble servicing missions, which is also, once again, that's probably like about the same as the ISS, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit. So, you know, this is the crap that NASA should have done decades ago. Regbach, yeah, right after the presser on stream before I started playing Kerbal, we kind of talked about this, dude. I agree. Well, NASA, first of all, this mission mirrors Gemini 11. Pretty damn close. Pete Conrad and Richard Gordon, it mirrors their mission. It's like uncanny how close it is. This is like a SpaceX Gemini mission, right? Which is pretty cool. Where I kind of went with that from there is that NASA should be doing this with the Orion capsule. That's what I kind of went with that. That was the short answer. Would that optical communication system be a tight beam communication in real life? You want to call it that? Your Trekkie is showing. But yeah, and why are optical communications good? Well, light doesn't really get scattered too much through the vacuum up in space. That's why the sunlight is from the sun, not close to us, but it still gets down to the surface here. You can use light for communications a lot easier in space than you can down here. In fact, shining light through a wire is what fiber optic is, basically. I mean, it's close. I know it's a little more complicated than that. I get it. Expanse, actually, heard it here first. Ah, damn Belter scum. Get out of here, you gosh darn jagoff. So, is it raining? I don't know, maybe. So yeah, Polaris Dawn should be amazing. It's launching at 3:38 on Monday morning next week, which just... So yeah, here's the shot from the press conference this morning. It's pretty awesome. Especially the guy that hosted it. It was hosted by one Bill Gerstenmaier, NASA alumni and pretty much overall mustache aficionado and legend in the spaceflight community. That guy's amazing. So Bill Gerstenmaier, for what it's worth, ran NASA's human spaceflight operations for like 10 years. And before that, he worked on the shuttle program for like 20 years, or actually 30 years. The guy was here. The guy was there at NASA for the entire tenure of the shuttle program. So yeah, he worked in wind tunnel testing, if I'm remembering right. That's where he started. And he worked his way all the way up to running NASA's human spaceflight operations. He did that until he was replaced in 2018 by Doug Livero, who didn't last very long. Doug Livero was replaced by Kathy Leaders. And then they took then Bill Nelson decided to take away that position, but whatever. Long story short, Bill ran NASA for a long time. Not the administrator, but the human spaceflight side of things. After he got out of a job, SpaceX said, hey. SpaceX was like, hey, you ran like the shuttle program for like 30 years, right? And he's like, yeah, I did. And he's like, so that would make you a pretty good expert on how to reuse stuff, right? Yeah. Hey, we're trying to reuse stuff. Do you want to join us? Yeah. And then he joined SpaceX after that. He's been the VP of Flight Reliability for SpaceX since basically 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. So yeah, he hosted that stream today, which is super cool. It's cool to see him. That guy is like a legend. He knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. Yeah, right, Rocket Guy? Yeah, you ain't kidding. You're going to cover it? I'm going to be here for it. Whoa. You know Pittsburghese would be used by belters. No. Get out of here. Get out of here, you gosh darn jagoff. I wonder whether the 2 staying astronauts will be able to peek out of the hatch, or will they be able to stay put? I would keep them on console, Vasi, but you never know. Somebody did ask that question, dude. But I forget exactly what the answer was. Anyway, this is going to be an awesome mission. SpaceX is going to learn a lot about, obviously, EVAing. And they said, Rook basically said that the SpaceX EVA suit that he's helping to develop here with this mission is not just an EVA suit. It is a suit that is designed for terrestrial exploration, or celestial body exploration, I should say. SpaceX is cooking up a moonwalking suit, or a Mars walking suit, I should say. That's what he said. He said this suit is basically directly going to lead to working on a Mars expedition suit, which is pretty cool. You think they would schedule the walk for prime time? I don't know. Maybe. Either way, I'm going to be here to cover it. So my schedule might get a little funky at the beginning of next week. Yeah, either way, guys, that's a super cool mission, and you definitely don't want to miss this. Yeah, gonna be pretty freaking good, dude. It's also, there's this picture, which is pretty sweet, when they were flying in. Can you show an ISS launch trajectory on Google Earth? Yeah, here, hold on. I'm losing, my voice is going. I don't know what the hell that's about, but that is the ISS's orbital inclination, and obviously we're not in the right phase right now, but why is Lemur 2 Ozark coming up? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Lemur 2. That was a transporter mission. So select the ISS. Yeah, that is what it would look like. So the ascent corridor would go something like that. It would go up the East Coast. Yeah, ragweed season. Yeah, you're not kidding, man. I am losing my voice, and that's not good. That's the one thing that I really can't afford to have problems with, but it is what it is. Yeah, so it's gonna be a crazy freaking mission. Polaris Dawn's nuts, in a good way. It's cool to see this happening, and yes, like I said, I think NASA should be doing stuff like this too. I think they should be doing this to shake down their Orion capsule, to be 100% honest with you. But you know, you could always dress up as a mime and stream that way. Yep. I'd rather not do that. So we still got a couple more things. We got an NSF vid that we can look through, but a little bit of SLS news, a smidgen of SLS news. The launch vehicle stage adapter for Artemis 2 has arrived at the Cape. Here, take a look. Yeah, that piece. Haven't played it on stream. Actually, I have played it on stream. I played it on stream when it was Balsa, though, Bastardo. So yeah, there you go. It's a stir-welded ortho grid, right? There you go. That's pretty good, man. Actually, stir welding an ortho grid is pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. Yeah, see how they made that. Cool. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, that was delivered. That's another piece of Artemis 2. So we have the core stage, we have the vehicle stage adapter, all the SRBs are there. We know that the interim cryogenic propulsion stage is there for Artemis 2, so missing one component. Actually, Orion is down there. We don't know what its status is, but it's down there. It's not picking up on the compressor. Breeze here. It's still not picking up. Bree was playing Pomp and Circumstance because Titan graduated, what is it, puppy school?
Yeah, he did Good Manners 1.
He passed Good Manners 1 at puppy school. Come here, buddy. Titan. Come on up here. Up. Come on. Come on, Titan. Hey. Thought you passed Good Manners. Get up here.
That's not a good manner. That's the opposite of a good manner. Taito! Taito!
Whatever. Pupper.
Chet wants to see you. Chet wants to see you. Go see Chet. Titan.
They can see him. He's on pupper cam now.
Do you have any goldfish?
Oh, yeah. Now you come over here. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, Mr. Good Manners. Good Manners, my butt. Hey, buddy. Doing?
Not with you.
Good Manners, not with you. Yeah, no, not you. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You just chilling? Look at this. He's a good boy. He passed Good Manners. That's how you know he's a good boy. Good's in the name.
Yeah.
He's like, can I have some of that, please? Or, hey. How you doing? You just chilling, huh?
I think that eye is still...
No, I think he's all right.
It's got a little bit of red on it.
He's like, oh, you're not going to give me food, so I'm going to leave now. Yeah. No, get away from the beer.
Okay, that's all. We just wanted to show Dad your good manner.
I did it all for the goldfish. Come on, the goldfish. Come on, so you can take that good boy and stick it up. Yeah, stick it up. Yeah. Why has it been so long? Why? For me to find out. But I did it, and not the only one. Cool. So, yeah, doggo. The doggo is here. So the LVSA was delivered, which is pretty cool. Now, yeah, we're just not necessarily missing the Orion, but yeah. Titan is officially a good boy. Yeah, it's been rubber stamped. Pretty good. Anyway, let's check out what's going on with NSF. Let's see what they're doing.
DOS here. We're trying something new. This is Starbase Daily for August 13th through the 17th, 2024. Scenes from SpaceX in Boca Chica, courtesy Mary, Boca Chica Gal, and Starbase Live.
Yeah, what he said.
There's Ship 30 over in the Rocket Garden. The tower modules and carriage. The carriage is what holds the chopstick to the tower.
Should I commentate over this? Or... Did I know the LVSA was made by Leidos? Leidos? Is that a Leidos company or just Leidos?
There's the Star Factory expansion. Might be connected to the office building.
This sounds like LA Noire. It's Star Factory expansion. Might be connected to the office building. Wait a minute. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit. In-game music usually is all right. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit. No. We need to find the... Hold on. Give me a second.
There's another view of the office building. Over here we've got the 14.1, the test tank. It was used for catch testing. We've got some sheet piles being installed over at Pad B.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so... That's perfect. It's so good, man. It sounds... Oh, that's funny. It's like a city stream I used to watch with the chill music, not you. Wait, what? Keep going? All right, fine.
There you see ship 26, which was lifted onto the work stand. Ship 30 got its decals installed.
I can't do this.
If you look closely, you can see Raptors being removed from ship 26.
Wonder if that's a clue.
There's Raptor 205. Donkey Kong carrying it around there.
It sounds like we're looking for clues. Oh my god, this is great. I gotta tell Dust, this is fantastic. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Dude, I can't even watch that. It's so ridiculous. Dude, he has the voice, man. See the Raptors being removed there. I don't know about that one, kid. We're gonna have to go over there and we're gonna have to see if those Raptors have truly been removed. We might have to go bust the door in, asking some questions. But listen, kid, just stick with me, you'll go far. Wonder if we go there and kick the door in at McGregor, if Billy Bopper's gonna come around and show us what kind of hand he's holding in this poker game. Oh, it's for black and white. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I can do it. Give me 1 second. That certainly is an odd-looking piece of equipment there. I wonder what they're using. I wonder what they're using it for.
Here you've got Raptor 198 being removed.
Gee, I wonder. I wonder where they went to get that Toyota forklift that they got right there.
That's Raptor 195. It says right there on it. See?
Yeah, I can see that.
Literally says the chopsticks moved around. On August 15th, we've got Ship 26 being lifted off the work stand.
I wonder if they're gonna scrap it. They're gonna get rid of any witnesses of them testing Starship.
In the foreground, Module 8 moved out to the launch site for stacking on Tower 2.
Alright, the music's getting a little too intense.
Back at the production site, Ship 26 returned to the rocket garden. Perhaps a stay of execution.
I wonder, they're gonna try to tie up loose ends in their testing program.
Ship 33 section was moved around for stacking.
They're gonna get rid of 26 and they're gonna replace it with 33. Wonder what this means for old Elon and his cadre of engineers here. Yes, dude.
And we've got Module 7 stacked on Tower 2. Back over at the office building, construction continues.
Yeah, you can see that construction's really going on there. I wonder if they got something to hide.
There's that Star Factory expansion.
Wonder why they would be expanding it. Wonder what they're up to.
And continued work on Ship 31's tiles. See, the tiles with the adhesive are being removed first.
Yeah, they are. Man, I tell you, that's one heck of a clue. Looks like someone went to town on this thing with an angle grinder. Could be anything, kid. Wonder what kind of grinder they were using. Wonder if there's any witnesses. Same adhesive made by Acme.
Work continues on Ship 30. That's the S-34 header leaving for McGregor.
Yeah, there it is.
The Tin Man.
It does look like the Tin Man. Maybe it's maybe he's trying to send a message.
Here we've got the beginning of that B-14.1 testing.
I suppose they're wondering to see if 14.1 is going to talk. Is he going to be a songbird and give up Ship 26? We'll have to see.
Looks like my 3D printer calibrating itself. On August 16th,
Curious.
we saw some catch testing with the chopsticks and B-14.1.
Every day goes by, Boca Chica gets bigger. I remember back not so long ago where it was just some guys testing stainless steel pressure vessels out in the middle of the field. Not so much anymore. Now it's a hustling, bustling Megazilla machine. It's designed to launch spacecraft up into space faster than a money printer can count money. Times have changed. They really gave it the squeeze, but it never... I can't do it. It's too good, man. It's too good. Yes! We should do it. This has to be done every time. Oh, no. Looks like they're going to give him the squeeze. 14, you stay strong, you hear? They're going to ask you questions. And they're going to intimidate you. But you have to hold out strong. To make sure you don't give up any of your possible buddies. Don't panic. I'm not panicking, you're panicking. Been in this business for over 10 years. Panicking is the way. Let stuff happen out of your control. You don't want that to happen, kid. Remember, loose lips sink ships. That's right. Oh, this is violent. Some of you might not want to see this, but we did manage to get some video footage of the perps. Warning, viewer discretion is advised. It's not for the faint of heart. You're probably not going to want to watch this with your lady friend. But you could. Definitely putting the squeeze on 14.1 there.
After the testing, B14.1 was hooked up to the crane.
Yeah, clearly it's hooked up to the frame.
Over here we've got the nose cone tile installation on Ship 31. And on August 17th, test tank 16 was moved out to Massey's. B14.1 moved back to the production site.
He didn't crack under pressure. Good for him. Remember, chat, this is a stakeout. Even though we see something we don't like, we can't act on it. You gotta let the little fish go so you
And
can catch the
Module
big
8 was
fish.
stacked. There's only one more module to go, y'all. Over here we see the test tank 16 over at Massey's. B14.1
Okay. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. It was funny. We're good now. I'm gonna shut that all off. Oh gosh. I can talk normally again. Also, the LA Noir soundtrack is very, very, very nice on the ears, if I do say so myself.
Production site. And work continuing on the chopsticks after that catch testing was performed.
What was that? I don't know, kid. Oh, wait, I can't talk like that anymore. Das put a voiceover over the Starbase video. He said he was trying something new out, and I'm sorry, it just instantly sounds like Cole Phelps looking for clues from, it instantly sounds like Cole Phelps looking for clues in LA Noir. That's what it instantly reminded me of. Like, listen to some of this, dude.
Over in the Rocket Garden. The tower modules and carriage. The carriage is what holds the chopstick to the tower. There's the Star Factory expansion. Might be connected to the office building.
Sounds just like... Might be connected. It might be a clue. It's so ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing his doubtful face. Dude, it sounds like LA Noire. If you've never played LA Noire, first of all, play LA Noire. That game is amazing. It's so good. Those guys are working on the chops. They're working on the ship QD right there. Now they give it as a Hardy Boys South. Oh, I got a clue. Oh, I got a gigantic clue. Scaffolding is being installed on Tower 2. It's crazy to me that you have this big, crazy, like, awesome spaceflight tower, and then there's just, that's just regular scaffolding. Yeah. All right, well, that's your update for what's going on. Once again, that footage is coming from my buddies over at NSF. Guys, please, if you want to see the source video and you don't want to hear my moronic face talking over it, I linked it up in chat. Please go check it out. Go check them out. Give them a subscription, please. The subscription is free. It's a free sub for you, Jim. Over on YouTube. Yeah, I do work with NSF, and I host Flame Trench. The Flame Trench. Well, actually, I don't host it. Sometimes I host it. But I participate in a spaceflight podcast at a reasonable volume from 5 to 7 every Friday. Flame Trench. Yes, you good? The SS United States to be relocated to another port city no earlier than September 12th. Funding launched to help relocate the historic SS United States. Cool. Well, that's good. Here's what the satisfactory extension looks like as of now. Oh, there you go. Leave you with my stapler to listen to the radio at a reasonable volume from 9 to 11. Cool, so it can rot at another pier. I should try a different voice with every vid. Yeah. Apparently, you need to stay off the Red Bull, by the way. Oh, Sawyer, that actually reminds me. First of all, no energy drinks today. I just had a cup of coffee. I'm running kind of on fumes here. I'm really tired today and have a disgustingly bad headache. I've had a migraine this entire stream. It's awful. I'm just powering my way right through it. Powering my way right through it to get you the space news that you need. Yeah, the space news that you crave. You want that space news so bad you can almost taste it. Anyway, check this out. Little bit. This isn't necessarily space news, but it is pretty cool aerospace news. This is coming from Boing, your favorite commercial aircraft company. Here.
For 29 years, the FA-18 Super Hornet has successfully protected the seas and skies around the world. But it all started with E1.
It's gonna be a good airplane. The airplane handles nice. It's felt like while I was flying, I thought I was flying the future. You know?
This past year, E1 returned to its birthplace in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis,
and was restored by dozens of Boeing employees. And in August of 2024, it was officially unveiled at the National Museum of Transportation.
Welcome to the National Museum of Transportation and the dedication of our newest exhibit, F-18E1, the very first Super Hornet.
For those of you first meeting E1, understand that it is the first of one of, if not arguably, the most successful naval aircraft in aviation history.
But E1's legacy is still being written today.
As Boeing continues to do upgrades to the airplane, it has maintained relevancy during its entire 30 years of service, and as evidenced by the USS Eisenhower's recent deployment with 4 F-18 Super Hornet squadrons there, they're the state of the art.
Super Hornets are going to fly into the 2040s. Growler's going to fly into the 2050s. Our job is to keep the platform modern and relevant and keep it up to the current fight. You see what the airplane can do today. Those are Block 2s. Block 3s are just starting to deploy in the Pacific. The future is bright for the F-18 because it needs to be.
Everything that you know about the F-18s today, whether it's Top Gun Maverick or the Blue Angels or the flight deck of our aircraft carriers or naval aviation power, all started with this airplane.
What will people say in 20 years? They'll go, this airplane was and continues to be the workhorse of the fleet.
Cool. That's pretty cool. So Block 3 Super Hornets are going to run their course, but the testing article was retired, so that's pretty neat. The reason why I wanted to show it is because there were viewers that watched the stream that worked on that restoration, which is pretty cool. So good job, guys. She looks great. Looks freaking sweet. Yeah, also Super Hornets are a big deal. If you're wondering, like, oh, what do you mean? It's just another F-18. No. FA-18s are not Super Hornets. Different plane. Completely different plane. Super Hornets are bigger. Way bigger. Yeah, bigger. Yeah. The size difference is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, that's cool, man. Cool. That one's better. Yeah, it's a completely different plane in the shape of an F-18. That's right. Can I see a size difference? Yeah. Well, but let me see if we can. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that gets it done. Good enough. Yeah, see what I mean? Bigger. Way bigger. Yeah, Super Hornet is an excellent aircraft. Very good. Not that I've ever flown one. Maybe in a video game. Maybe I've seen a little on TV. Yeah. I've played Battlefield 3, man. Yeah, the Super Hornet, yeah, it's basically a much more modern plane that's just F-18 shaped. Yeah. The Super Hornet did kind of help lead to other things inadvertently, but yeah. What things? I don't know. Good things. You're a Hornet pilot in Flight Simulator. Whoa, bro. That's great. Cries in CF-188. What are you gonna do? Isn't the wingspan of a Super Hornet nearly the same as Starship's diameter? I'm not sure. There's a boatload of differences between the Super Hornet and the Legacy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, those differences are really easy to spot, Victory. It's because of the Oh, that was weird. What happened? Yeah, I said my voice was going. It just I didn't think that that's what that meant. Classified. Tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. Oh, now you get it. Oh, slow down. Oh, okay. (1962) Spanish Armada, 1588. That is correct. You know what's messed up, Mason? I will never forget the dates from that trivia thing because of that freaking movie. Magna Carta, 1215. Norman invasion of England, 1066. So bad. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, poo is better. I get complimented on my World War II knowledge today when most of what I recalled came from Hearts of Iron 4. British invasion of everywhere else. 1066 is the Battle of Hastings. That's right. Yes, it is. Ah, now I want to play Hearts. You guys suck. Damn it. Oh, really, fool? Really? Yeah. You learn rocket science here, too, by the way. Stop looking at me, Swan. Play Hearts was one of those really cool overhauls in the workshop. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do, Grab. That. What do you think about Boeing lately, space-wise? Sorry, you've probably answered this multiple times. Warning, EJ opinion is coming. This is not entirely considered to be factual, but, you know, well-researched, we'll say. This is very much opinion. This isn't news. Wild, it turns out when you don't take into account that your thrusters, which are rocket engines that get hot, are pointed into the sun because they're pointing in the same direction as your solar panels. And then you go and fire those thrusters and they get too hot because they're sitting in the sun while also firing. That can cause problems. It very much seems like you probably should have taken that into account, but
Go at throttle up.
Not entirely sure if that happened here. Not entirely sure that happened. As far as I can tell, Boeing's thermal model is incorrect. Their thermal model was incorrect, and they had poppet seal they had fuel injector poppet seal degradation from overheating engines. So basically, the seals on the fuel delivery and oxidizer delivery mechanism on one of their thrusters started melting something upstream or downstream, and they blew out a seal or they damaged one, etc., etc. Why is that bad? You don't want to damage the seal where your fuel gets delivered into the rocket engine, because then it becomes a rocket engine. Fortunately, Starliner's control systems did catch it, but that's really kind of the conundrum that they're facing right now. There's no real way to tell if the seals are if the seals will hold during re-entry. Or during deorbit, I should say. Deorbit is the right way to say this. 40J, Brimo is going to make him do this till he's 90. If you know, you know. Okay. If we blow up the sun, would that not solve the problem? Guys, I got a migraine today. That didn't help. I got a migraine already. It didn't help. Oh, God. Oh, God, you're making my head hurt. The sun's already blowing up. That's how that works. So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, man. You're making my head hurt. So, yeah, I can't speak to the Boeing commercial airplane side of things because I don't really care. But on the spacecraft side of things, I think there's a big problem. The problem is inexperience. Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Wild Rhino, that's what seems to be going on. It turns out when you fire all the people that work on the shuttle program, the shuttle's thrusters, and then you decide to design a spacecraft using the same thruster design, and then you go and hire a bunch of new people using that same thruster design, the technical expertise from and the problems that were solved from flying that thrusters designed previously have to be relearned. I think that's very much what's going on here. Chat, I didn't find these PDFs. To be 100% fair, chat went, looking around for them for me. But I found, actually, Rocket Guy to be specific. He streams on Twitch. He's a good dude. He's an actual rocket scientist, unlike me, which just kind of plays one on Twitch. We found multiple PDFs here that talk about poppet seal degradation and thruster thermals. One of them is from 2004 and the other one's from 1991. So clearly this was an issue in the past and clearly it was solved. So if Starliner is using similar thrusters to the shuttle and then you're encountering the same freaking problem or seemingly the same freaking problem, what does that tell you? It tells you that the people working on this didn't know about this problem, which tells me they're inexperienced. Boeing would lay off the people that knew anything about this thruster and then hire a fresh crop of people so they could pay them less. That makes sense. That sounds right to me. Does that sound right to you? That sounds correct. That sounds like a company that's, trying to nickel and dime their own engineering division. That sounds right. That seems to be on par. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Once again, this is just my opinion. So remove this from any technical analysis that I do on poppet seals with thruster. Yeah, you can't, there's no cheaper way to do it, okay? There's only less expensive ways to do it, okay? There's no, cheaper way of doing this. Doesn't sound right, but sounds like business. Yep. Which kind of seems to be par for the course, Once again, guys, I wasn't sure it was inexperience. It was just a guess, but we did see a NASA Investigator General report come out about SLS Block 1B, particularly pertaining to the exploration upper stage, the bigger upper stage that they're building for SLS, and it said, well, nobody can maintain quality control on any of the parts because no one knows how to. Great way to run a cost-plus contract, too. Said the problems affecting Boeing's civilian aviation division should never affect the space division. Look at Starliner. Yeah, were you listening to what I just said, or did you just want to draw your own conclusion? Because it seems like very much you weren't listening to what I was saying, but that's fine. I'm saying 2 + 2 = 4, and you're like, yeah, well, what about 6? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Were you even listening? Like you said before, it's running on past achievements, not current skill set. Wolfie, I came to this conclusion like sometime around 2020, 2021, when they said it's gonna cost $2 billion to build another mobile launcher. I'm like, what? Once again, it's important to understand the process, but I think I've been neutral about this stuff long enough to be able to formulate a pretty damn good conclusion. Once again, this is just my opinion. But yeah, what do I know about spaceflight? I don't know nothing about spaceflight. I like playing Kerbal. I play Kerbal all day. I make models for Kerbal Space Program. You could argue that I suck at that too. That's what I went to school for. So who knows? Yeah, there you go, Iger. There you go. You might say that the coefficient of joules per mole, moles wear expensive jewels, and rats wear cement shoes. Trying to solve a puzzle here. Puzzle the overheating thruster. We got an APB out on Boeing engineers that supposedly sabotage their own thing for stock prices. You're gonna have to go in and do some exploring there, kid. Ba, 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 na, 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 na. I'll be year in 3, your last 5 classes today towards a BA in aerospace science. Good for you. Good job. You're moving up in the world there, kid. Temporary road delay on State Highway 4. On 8/21/2024, between 12 and 3 a.m., SpaceX will conduct transportation operations on Highway 4. Near Boca Chica Beach from the pad to the Sanchez lot. Transport will take 1 hour. Go. Are we in the Expanse now? I don't think so. We'll have to look. I remember seeing the head of Boeing before Congress, and he took a massive bonus, but laid off, fired many, and he got his butt handed to him from Congress. I know. See, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like somebody's moral compass isn't a little screwed up at that company, but also at the same time, it's not the CEO's job to have a moral compass. It's the CEO's job to make money. You may not like that. I certainly don't like that, but that's the truth. They have a fiduciary responsibility to shareholders to generate income through any means necessary. That's their job. Now, personally, I think that's a little screwed up because they're putting profits over human lives, which, you know, it's a little messed up. But even trying to nickel and dime your own system to save money that way, to generate revenue for shareholders is a little awkward, Bass, don't you think? Like, we have this race to the lowest common denominator of costs here. And when that logic, when that business degree, you know, is applied to aerospace engineering, it turns out that it doesn't work very well. Because at the end of the day, aerospace engineering is a complicated endeavor. There's no way, there's no two ways to cut it, guys. I'm sorry, there's just not. If anyone wanted to build a rocket to go to the moon, right now, it would cost billions of dollars. It doesn't matter what your business model is. It doesn't matter what your testing regime is. It doesn't matter if you're NASA, SpaceX, Boeing, whomever. It doesn't matter. It's going to cost billions of dollars. There's no way to get around it. You know why? Because aerospace engineering is beholden to physics, and the laws of physics are inalienable. You cannot break those. I'm sorry, not by conventional means, that is. It's always going to cost money. Like, you can find ways to optimize process, but you only do that after making a good product. You don't try to optimize process while you're developing something. That's just, dude, I'm an idiot and I know that. You got to make something first before you can decide to penny pitch it. If you tried to penny pitch it while you're making it, it's going to suck. Like, that's not how you make money. But it doesn't matter. But once again, I don't really want to sit here and talk about the ethics of that. I mean, we can all say, like, you know, your moral compass is a little screwed up. Yeah, Spartan, right? Yeah. The crapification loop. I mean, it's really what it is. Little space history from Stennis. What do you got for me, T-Man? What do you got for me, kid? Oh, look, NASA doing something. Cool. In these Stennis history images, the first flight-certified Saturn V rocket second stage, S2-1, is lifted onto the A2 test stand at NASA Stennis on August 19th, 1966 in preparation for a hot fire test. This was the stage that was used during Apollo 4, and it produced 1 million pounds of thrust. Oh, yeah. Sorry for the controversy. Yeah, it is what it is, dude. You asked me what I think. That's what I think. But that's usually not what I would say if I was trying to report the news. It'll make him like that? Well, it's funny you should mention that. That's the biggest upper stage ever made, but and I will spend the last part of Space News talking about this. Now, I can't show any footage. Timmy doesn't want me to. I asked him. He doesn't want that. That's fine. Totally get it. His IP. You know, getting an interview with this dude must have been not easy to do. But Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, had a interview with Jeff Bezos going around the New Glenn factory. There's a 2-part series, and he released part 1 the other day, and it is excellent. Some of this, I would very much say that if you like space, even in the remotest of ways, you should go watch it. I was glued to the television. It actually, to be 100% real, like, and I said this a little bit earlier in the stream, you know, Tim had an interview, and Jeff Bezos is the one that's showing him Amazon. Jeff Bezos, I mean, he's since stepped down from the CEO position to focus more on Blue at the time. And I will say one thing about this, dude, it's easy to spot another nerd. And he's a big nerd. This guy loves this stuff. Like, I'm not trying to just talk up a billionaire, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like kind of into doing that, but dude, he really knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Dude, some of the ways he was explaining things are actually really good. Like, the guy could be an excellent science teacher in another life. Second of all, you know, he was super pumped about some of this stuff. It's wild. It is wild what they're doing at that factory in Cape Canaveral. It's awesome. You should probably go watch it. It's pretty good. What's the A2 test stand used for now? Testing RS-25s. Yeah, Spartan, I would disagree. Respectfully. I mean, I have my reasons why I think it's not, this kind of behavior happens, but I don't want to talk about that on stream, dude. So the reason why I bring up Tim's interview is because we looked at that picture of that. We looked at the picture of that upper stage. That's an S2, but the New Glenn upper stage that's being worked on right now, it's a 7-meter diameter stage that's almost as big as that. Yeah, 7 meter, and it's about the same length as that S2, which is absurd. It has 2 B3 engines in it that are expander cycles engines making 500 kilonewtons per engine. New Glenn's upper stage is insane. It's insanely good for what it is, right? Like, that's probably the biggest upper stage that's going to fly, with the exception of S2 and Starship. It's gigantic. Yeah, guys, go watch Timmy's video. Some of the stuff in there about orthogrids and milling orthogrids and stir welding stuff, it's some really great up close footage. Please go watch it. Let me put it to you like this. That video will get referenced a lot here on this stream for context and about how stuff is made. So you might want it for a glossary of terms at the very least. Shoot, I don't think the B3U comes close to the RL10. What? It makes 5 times as much thrust. What are you talking about? The video was shot in May. Yep, Mab. What did I tell you, dude? Mab, I don't know if you were here when I showed those pictures from Dave Limp, the CEO of Blue Origin, you know, showing the RCS firing and the fins moving on the test articles, right? I said that was flight hardware, and they did confirm it in that video. That was flight hardware. Like I said, man, HVAC, dead giveaway. Could not show the video as we watched together. 415, I have too much respect for Tim. I'd have to ask him if he'd be cool with doing something like that. Tim's a buddy of mine, but like, we don't talk all the time. I haven't talked to him since last year, early last year. So I haven't talked to him in a bit. But if he was, I would ask before we did something like that. Like the NSF stuff, I know is good. But even then, I still try not to just play the video. I try to put commentary over it, or at least put something on it. But I always, you know, like, I very much believe in giving credit where credit is due, but I also very much believe in asking, you know. Especially for other space content creators. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to blacklist yourself like that. That's not cool. No, but you're not watching on stream just together. I don't know. Maybe. I once again, I understand. See, this is the thing, dude. You asked me a question and I gave you a response and you said no. Like, no, but what about this? The premise of that response was not me misunderstanding what you're doing. Or what you're proposing. I just want to be very clear there. I understand. But I still would be more comfortable if I asked. Dude, you never know. You can't take risks like that. I mean, the LA North soundtrack is in-game music, so I'm not too incredibly concerned about that because there's a huge precedent for trying to claim a strike on in-game music. But who knows? You got to be careful about that stuff. And once again, it's just the straight respect that I have for the guy. You misunderstood. We all watch directly. No. Okay, no problem, dude. Yeah, I understood. Let me ask. Okay, I know him. I can just ask. It's easier that way. Did you see the video of the RFA hot fire? I did. We watched it at the beginning of Space News. Poll. Yeah, something broke. I have my guesses. It looks like a power pack induced failure from a hard start, or a power pack failure induced from a hard start. That's what it is. That's what I think. So, we'll see. More excited to see New Glenn's pad. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very, 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 very on board with doing something like that. And you know what? To end Space News, here's what you get. You get some footage from the ISS. Look. Are you sick or allergies? I'm not sure.
Nice. You can work at SeaWorld.
There you go. That's your footage from the ISS. It looks like they're having fun. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Voice isn't cooperating. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna skip after hours just for tonight. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I'm not deviating from the schedule. I just can't talk. If I can't, I mean, maybe we could play Workers in silence or something, but that Workers is a game that needs to be explained, so I'll probably just end up doing that more tomorrow. There was video of the RFA hot fire. The BBC had video, but I think they took it down. It's pretty gruesome. It's pretty bad. Yeah. If you know how much effort goes into building one of these things, seeing that thing quite actually go up in flames it's hard to watch. I've had launch pads go up in flames. It is not a good feeling. It's very much not a good feeling. Flamey end came out the side. Yep. It was not good. So, guys, I'm just gonna give my voice a rest. I'm not entirely sure where this is coming from, but I will do my standard, you know, protect your voice procedures here and go from there. Unless you guys want to silently watch me play another game. I'm kind of useless without the damn commentary. You could totally mime workers. It's up to you. I think I'll just give my voice a rest just in case. It'll be very hard for me to not talk and play. Like I'm entirely convinced if I play video games like off stream nowadays, I haven't done that in a really long time, but if I did, I'd start talking to myself. Habits and stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna rest up. I'm gonna stop. Make sure my voice is okay. I will see you guys tomorrow at noontime. Take care, Eleanor. Yeah, I'm sure doing the detective voice helped a lot. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. We'll get back to we decided to do a detail pass on the KSP part, and we will jump back in and we'll finish everything tomorrow. So I'll send you a can of maple syrup. Yeah. One of these days we gotta find some time to catch up. Probably best when you can talk though. Yeah, we will, dude. All right. I'm gonna head out for the night, dude. I'm just gonna give this a rest, and I will talk to you guys all tomorrow at noon. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.